So, good evening, everyone, and a very warm welcome to all of you on another amazing session on Shiksha. And Bhagyashree, your moderator for this session. And I hope we all are aware of the topic for this session, that is all about impact of CUET and what all options are there if not CUT, if you're not able to do that, or if you're not able to take up what exactly options you have. So we'll be discussing, a lot of on these parameters, and apart from that, more from the in detail we'll be sharing experiences from two different students, who one of them who has already given the exam and one who did not take up and sat for other options. So we'll discuss a few things on both on the both the options and parameters of CUET. And definitely we are also planning another webinar for CUET, which will be hosting with another expert panel where we'll have more queries. So I'll share all those details in some time during this session. So let me just introduce you to the panel out here today. So we have Hitakshi Mewara from University Maharani College, Jaipur. And the other panelist we have is Harshita Tiwari from Asian Law College. So I'd like to welcome both of you on the panel. Thank you so much for joining us here on Shiksha's panel. And I'm sure a lot of you, both of you must be having exams and sessions and college, but thank you so much for taking out time and being with us for this 60 minutes.
Thank you.
So probably what I like to see is, okay, Venkata Krishnan, you can lower your hand and just drop down your query. We'll try and take up your question, right? Okay. So before we start off, I just want to start with the very basic question of CUET. I mean, what importance CUET has. So Harshita, since you have already given the exam, so if you like to take first with this and start on.
Okay, so you want to know the importance of CUET, right? Okay.
Yes.
Definitely, just after 12th, when we are giving our boards or ending our boards exam, we all are having that in our mind that we're going to go for universities or college, and we all are preparing for that in some sort of time. So definitely going for CUET is not that easy, obviously. It's an exam which is conducting by NTA, National Testing Agency, and they're going to have plenty of questions and a very less number of time. Obviously, in that order, we are going to have competition with different students. So preparing for CUET is difficult only if you're not having a clear idea. As I was not able to get a perfect university for myself, and I believe it was just because I was not consistent for my preparation. So the first thing is prepare hard enough for this, and always try to be persistent in your practices and so on. Just don't give an excuse to yourself that you're having board exams or something. That's why you're not able to prepare for it. Prepare for it with a whole heart and go for it.
Sorry. So just coming to Hitakshi, I mean, you did opt for this exam, but you did not take up. So just tell us a bit about that. What exactly happened?
So basically, what happened after 12th was when I was searching for universities, nothing was clear at that time. I haven't landed upon the university that I actually wanted to go into. So I looked up all the exams that I could go into. My mom even suggested to opt for science and even humanities, but I wanted to do something that actually aligns with my passion, my skill set and everything. So what I did was, first I selected a university. The first and foremost thing we want to do when you're taking up for any exams, or if you want to go to any university, is select a university. Once you have landed upon a university that aligns with your whatever goals that you have, if you want to go for the co-cultural activities, or whether you want to go to completely professional area, or whether you want practical knowledge or knowledge. So just choose a university that aligns with what you want for the future, and then search up that university, whether it takes up a CUET, whether it allows you to set up for CUET and it is accepting the CUET scores or not, or whether it's taking merit, for example, if it's selecting students on the basis of 12th merit. So when I selected University Maharani College, it was purely for cultural practices, culture aspects of my area. I actually wanted to go into the cultural societies and everything, and University Maharani College seemed like a perfect fit for me for at that time. So when I looked up for it, it was not included in CUET at that time, and the CUET was not it was not accepting the scores for CUT. It was directly taking students on the basis of the merit and on the basis of the percentage that they secured in their 12 marks. So I dropped the idea of CUT, even though my mom suggested that I should sit for it in case I want to opt for any other university. But I had a clear goal in my mind that no, I want to go for either RU or either DU, and both of the universities were not accepting CUT at that time. So I instead chose for University Mahani College, and I filled the form, and there was entire procedure of uploading my documents, uploading my mark sheets, and then when the lists were out, so the entire list procedure was based on the merit system. Although there is one drawback of this system is that they have biasness of CBSE, and then there's state board, and then there's general, and then there's OBC, and then there's other castes. So that is kind of a drawback for the people. There is not a level field. So that is a drawback for university that are not accepting CUT. But I got in the university on the basis of my merit, so it was pretty okay for me because I got the university that I wanted.
Right. So I think we are here to we'll see two different aspects of CUT. So Arshita, coming to you, let's just start. We have already started getting few queries also here. So obviously, the first question would be will I be eligible for all universities by giving CUT? So I think this question comes from Babul Ryan also. So if you like to advise him something for this.
Okay, see, the first thing is after qualifying your 12th, you are eligible for CUT if you are having that percentage or some sort of, everyone is possibly able to get 45% or like that. So the main thing is you are eligible for university, but for different subject as per your course selection or for whatever you are going. As I was going for BLLB, qualifying marks for BLLB was just 45. So it's not difficult to get 45, but just because you are needing to give right answers that need to be 45, no chance of getting some wrong or something like that. So the first thing you need to do is that you are qualified, but now you should prepare hard enough to get in the college or the university, because it's really difficult at this time when you're having a competition really very hard over there. And I guess all the students who are here for different course, basically the undergraduates one, BA or MA and so on like that, they all are trying to get inside the university just by CUET. So it's hard in that way. You are eligible, but you need to practice hard to get in there.
Right. I think that answers. And if I just extend my question, currently how many universities are accepting CUT?
Currently for this session, 2022 to 2023, 44 universities are enrolling themselves in CUET, but it changes elsewhere. Sometimes it's 54, sometimes it's 40, and sometimes it's like that.
Right. Absolutely. I agree, because, every time there are certain, changes. And in fact, the registrations are date were also, keeping on changing. Like they have extended the date to May 22nd. So I think there are just 3 days left. So if any one of you have not yet registered, you just have 3 days in your hand. So you need to grab the time and, register. And also let me tell you that we have a video on Shiksha's YouTube channel where you can watch the entire process of how do you fill up the form. That is another very important aspect. So you can just check out the video, how can you fill up the entire form properly, and what all details you need to prepare, and what all details you need to put in there, right? So just keep a check and all the notifications. All right, let me just move to the next question. How much marks are required to clear CUET? So Hitakshi, you have any idea on that?
I think according to me, there is no particular criteria to qualify for CUET, although there are particular qualifier for every university that takes up the students. For example, a certain university might put up a certain threshold on the CUET marks that this much CUET is required to get into our college, or to get admission into this particular subject, right? So it depends from university to university.
Okay, so there is no common marks for CUET, minimum for this. All right. So if you're applying for any particular university or college, you really need to keep a check on that particular college, like how much marks they are accepting for that. Okay, great. Let's move to the next question. While applying, on what basis, Bridge Bihari has this question. On what basis or factors top rank universities select admission of students? So is there any factor like that? Harshita, would you like to answer?
Okay, hi. It's always depend on this, that how much marks you are getting in this CUET exam. If you are one who is from the top rankers, you are going to get the best university, as they are going to call you for their university. It's always depend on how much marks you are getting in the exam.
Yes, right. I totally agree to that. So there's no different basis or factors that you need to have. Okay, Venkata Krishna says, while applying for CUET exam registration, do I need to select any college particularly? Hitakshi, you would like to answer that?
No, you do not need to select the college particularly, although you need to select the course. Then you can apply for any college for that course of taking the COT exam. For example, see, you need to first check that whether the college that you want to apply to is accepting COT or not. Just like in my case, my college was not accepting COT, so I had to opt some other option. But in case your college, or if you have a set of colleges, like for example, you have shortlisted 5 to 6 or 7 colleges that are in your top 7 colleges that you want to apply to, and all these colleges provide the course that you want to go to. So you can give the CUET exam, and CUET exam is the level field where you can give the exam, and then you can apply for all the universities that are accepting the exam and are providing the course that you're looking for.
Right, absolutely. Okay. Mannat says, should I need to appear in CUET to take admission in Bachelor in Journalism and Mass Communication? I think, Harshita, you have any idea for that for bachelor's?
Yeah, okay. It's just like that. If you are having something bachelor in vocalization subjects or something like that, you can appear in CUET. CUET is giving that option as well to select your course in that.
Right. So I think Mannat, that helps you with the answer, right? Okay.
I think he wants to ask if he needs to appear, like, is it necessary to appear in CUET?
No, it's
So
up
I
to
think
you.
that
If you
again
want to
depends
go
on the
individually for some
university.
university, you can apply in that way. But if you want to go under CUET, then you can go for it as well.
Yeah, I think some universities, they do have separate entrance and CUT both. So I think they have options, like they can sit for CUT, or they can like go in for different entrance exams also. Okay, Rhythm says, what is the relief given in masters to students who have done bachelors from DU? Okay, anyone have idea on this? Like for masters, Rhythm, if you have queries like this, so you can like log into ask.shiksha.com. So we have expert team over there who can like guide you in a very right way for these type of like for masters and all. So I would request just check on to the website, you'll get answers to that, right? Okay, another very important question which Suhani has also given here is like preparation tips for CUT. I'm sure there is certain kind of preparation strategies and tips that they really need to keep in check before they sit for the exam, and there are certain things that they need to keep in mind, like they have to be mentally prepared for this exam when it's a common university exam for so many universities. So there has to be some kind of preparation that is required. So let's just start with Harshita. Like when you were like giving the exam, I'm sure you must have had a certain kind of mind preparation, a study plan, or something like that you had, for cracking the exam. Yes.
Okay. So definitely some tips from my side is for all of you is firstly understand the syllabus and understand the exam. This is a basic thing to give any kind of exam. You need to understand what the exam is and what the exam is about. Like if you're going for CUET, it's not always your subject. It's not always from your subject or something that you studied in 12th. It's true that it's from 12th level only, but you need to go for GK, GS as well. You need to be good in logical and reasonings as well. So firstly, prepare for these things and make your timetable separately for all the criterias and all the sections, as you're going to have 4 sections of the exam. So you can't leave one section ke main to ye nahi kar raha because I'm not able to do this, mujhe iska idea nahi hai. You need to prepare for each section as if you are going for like someone asked for BTech, right? So if you are preparing for BTech, you can go for HC Verma for physics, and for mathematics, you can go for GN Verman. These are the books that I know for BTech. So if you're preparing for that, you can study the book from 12th level and you can prepare hard enough for that. And another tip that I would like to give all of you is that remain motivated. The first thing you need not to be demotivated, like I'm not able to do this, I'm not able to solve this sample paper. Try to solve as many sample papers as you can, because it's not like something IIT or that you're not going to, the questions like it's not going to be repeated. It will repeat sometime, oftenly you can see that. So you just need to prepare yourself on that basis that you can solve sample papers as much as you can. This will help you a lot.
Extending the same question to you, Hitakshi, what would be like tips from your side? Like, what will you suggest?
To be very honest, I'm a completely different person from Harshita on this aspect. I'm a person who thinks that it's important to study strategically than to study hard. I have like always given exams on like either 2 to 3 day basis or like on at most 1 week notice. So my strategy to always appear for exams on a short notice would be to strategically divide your time into the topics that are actually important for your subject. And most importantly for CUET, I think the exam pattern was like 75 questions are there and there are multiple choice questions. Am I right, Fashita?
Yes.
Yeah, so for multiple choice question, what my strategy always has been, like I have appeared for some competition exam as well, and the paper pattern is almost same in every competition exam for MCQs, right? So what I have seen and observed most importantly is like they try to confuse you with similar looking options. So it's very, very important that what you study, you should study very, very thoroughly. If you have any doubts in even a topic, the similar looking options can easily confuse you out, and then you'll be in a terminal there that what is the correct answer, and then that diminishes your answer, like chances to be correct or chances to get top scores, right? So you need to be very, very sure of your answer, or attempt the answers that you know that in your heart that they are correct, that you know and they are completely sure of. So attempt those answers first, and then you can come back to the answers that you're unsure of, or that you're confused about, right? So you can attempt those later, but be sure that you attempt the questions that you already know first, because when what happens in exams, like you're under pressure, there is a constant time ticking, there are seconds passing by, and there's a particular time slot that you need to complete your exam in. So under that pressure, we often stuck on some question, and then we leave the questions that we actually know of. So my strategy is strategically give exams. So when you strategically divide your time, first divide your time halfly, first half of the time is given to the answers that you are completely sure of, then you can go ahead to the unsure answers, and then you can go to the answers that you're completely unaware of. Like for example, if the exam has negative marking, then completely leave those questions that have that you have like no confidence in. But if there's no negative marking in the exam, then you can definitely go ahead and opt for the answers that you are not sure of, because see, we never know that we might select right answer. So like my strategy is always listen to your guts.
Right, absolutely. I think these are like some important strategies or tips like all of you can apply while for preparing. And so these are some practical things that students do apply. So I think you can always try and go for these, right? Okay, let me just come to another question here from Rakesh. Are all colleges from DU covered through this entrance? So Harshita, any idea on that?
No, not really.
I actually read an article recently where the DU exam, the DU University has recently announced that they will be accepting CUET for all their undergraduate courses, because recently the Ministry of Education of India has made it compulsory for all these colleges to have CUET. All the central universities, all the central universities of India are now compulsorily needed to conduct CUET for their entrances. So I think from earlier they were not accepting CUET, but from this session, DU is accepting CUET for their courses.
Yes, I think recently only they had this amendments, and it was all over in news also.
Yeah, even University Maharani College will be accepting whether CUET or some entrance exam they'll be holding, because it comes under state university. So I'm not really sure about what they have, what decision they have taken yet.
Okay, all right. So Mary has this question: is there a date to correct the application form if it's already submitted? So I think Mary, someone has already answered for you. It's like till 26, because last date of submitting your application form is 22nd of May. It has been extended, and I hope all of you know that there is a registration fees, for filling up the registration forms. So please keep a check, because there is a quota price different, and there is a general category. So I have already, I'll just share another link for all of you, just to give you some more clarity, right? So this is a link where we are like continuously, we are updating all the notifications. So there is a separate application fee for general category and for the OBC category. So just have a look on that as well, right? Okay, Neeta wants some suggestion for maths book for UG BBA. We don't have any maths students. Any one of you has any suggestion for maths?
Yeah, I will suggest you to go for GN Parman. That book is really very nice.
Yeah, so Neeta, I think you can like check for that book, right? Okay, I think Harshita, this question is for you because she wants to know, does law come under CUET? I mean, since you're a law
Okay,
student.
look, basically CUET is accepting all courses from UG, PG, Masters or Diplomas, even PhD as well. And if you want to know for law, then definitely law comes under CUET and all kind of law, that is integrated BA, LLB, BBA, LLB, BSc, LLB, all comes under CUET and you can go for it.
Right. Also, I've shared the official website link also. That's I'm just trying to like help you guys, like, you'll have a clear idea of what exactly you need to do because the time is less and a lot of you do panic that we don't know how to do this, how to do that. So we're just trying to help you out with all kind of resources that is available to us and that we can provide you in a short span of time. So just keep a check on all these websites and on Shiksha's link because we're constantly updating it for you all. So, you'll have a greater understanding of these things, right? Babul's exam dates are there on the website or on the Shiksha's link. You just click on that and get all information, right? Okay. Okay. Another question is coming from Suhani is BA English honors selection criteria for like CUT. It's actually have any idea on that?
I actually have no idea because I'm not from the subject itself. But I think the basic thing would be the criteria or the syllabus would be basically the grammar portion, the literature portion. If you want to go for English honors, I would suggest you to focus on the literature aspect, the medieval literature area, because one of my juniors has English honors and she focused on basically the medieval literature and the Shakespearean and the William Wordsworth era. So I would suggest you to focus on that, and the grammar portion, although it's less, but it is still there. And there was one more question regarding, they were asking if whether CUET was, whether CUET is eligible for PhD program.
Yeah.
Is it okay if I answer that?
Sure, please.
Yeah,
Please go ahead.
I actually researched about it, and CUET is only eligible for undergraduate, postgraduate, and research programs. It isn't for PhD programs. I guess there are separate other exams that you need to give for different courses of the PhD.
Right. So I think if any of you had relevant questions regarding to PhD, so that answers. So CUT is not for PhD, right? Okay. 12th marks becomes irrelevant. I mean, Shikha is asking this, that 12 marks are irrelevant. Harshita, what would you like to say?
Definitely, if you are eligible for the exam, you need not to be focused on your 12th marks. It's not going to matter in like that if you are topper, you're going to get some best university, and if you're not going to best university. It's up to the exam that you're giving in CUET. 12 marks is just for qualifying or being eligible for the exam.
Yes, so please do not think it
I'd
as
like to answer that question.
Sure.
That chemistry and maths book suggestions
Sure.
for BTech. You can definitely go for GN Parman for maths analysis, and for organic chemistry you can go for RK Gupta. That's I noted down for you guys. That's because I'm having my friend in BTech for Central University.
Right. So this was the answer to Ayushman Awasthi's question. So you've got your names for chemistry and maths book, right? So just check on that, right? Okay, Unnati has sent in a question like, is there any minimum score which we should achieve for a particular, session of this, like for this CUET exam? Is there a minimum score that they need to achieve? Like if you're scoring this much, then only you're eligible to move ahead. Harshita, what would you like to tell?
Okay, look, for different courses, it's different. Like for MSc, I guess it's 25 out of the total marks. But as I was in BLLB, so I definitely say that for BLLB, it's 45. Same like that, it's vary for different courses. As Hitachi is from different courses, going to have some different criteria for that. So you are going to have different marks achievement for different course, and you need to prepare for like it like that way.
Right, absolutely. Okay, you're welcome, Ayushman. You're welcome, Mary. Manisha says, can a student without maths in 12th grade take CUET for BBA? Who would like to answer that? Yeah.
I am from BCom only, and I appeared for BCom without maths. I didn't have maths in my 11th or 12th, and because BCom actually has more inclination toward having maths in your 12th exam rather than BBA, because with BBA is more focused on theoretical approach and BCom is more inclined towards the practical approach. So maths is basically asked more in BCom and less in BBA. But so to answer that, no, you need not have math particularly to appear for CUET. You can choose the next best option for the exam. As I have read in one article as well, that if you do not have any subject particularly that you wanted to take up in CUET, but you do not have it in 12th, you can easily opt for the next best option that is like very close to the subject that you want to go into, and that would be like perfectly good. It won't affect it.
Right. I think that there's an option always available. You just need to keep a tab on like which is suiting according to your requirement for your, whatever you're taking ahead. Okay. Shikha is saying CUET syllabus for EX for UG in commerce stream will be 12 syllabus. Harshita, can you elaborate?
Definitely. It's going to be from your 12th semester, 12th class boards subjects only. But somehow you're going to get reasoning and mental ability questions as well. So you need to focus on that as well.
Right. And actually, the CUET syllabus is available on their site as well. If you log into their site, you can see all the subjects that are under CUET, and their syllabus is also uploaded on there. You can find like 6 to 7 units and their subtopics on the site as well. Like you just need to log into the site and you'll be able to see all the syllabus topics that they are accepting.
Right. So, Harshita, just coming to you, since you sat for the exam, which year did you give this exam?
So, excuse me.
Which year did you give this CUET exam?
In 2020.
2020, right. So just tell us about like what all subjects were there for the exam, and like if we divide, yeah.
Definitely. I was going for BLLB. So I was having GK reasoning ability and most of all the subjects that come under BA. So it's just like a GK test for me. But for definitely one who is not prepared enough for the exam, it's going to face some consequences, like you're not going to answer the GK question because not something that you can read or you can learn over from a period of time or something. You need to prepare consistently for that. And for the law things, it's just like a CLAT examination that you gave for somewhere for CLAT or something like that. It's totally easy, but it's just a thing that if you're not persistent enough in your practice and if you're not having enough idea that what the past year paper says to you, then you're not going to get it in. You definitely need to prepare hard enough, just because it's not that you can learn something in a night. You need to prepare in a way for that.
Right. So did you have a different time plan, or like did you allot certain months for preparing? Because I'm sure you might be giving your boards along with that.
Okay, definitely just before my boards, I was preparing for it thoroughly. But right after I ended my board, I started for preparing it separately. And almost maximum time of my day was given for a CUET examination only.
Right. So since you told that, you were preparing along with boards. So, how did you try to manage boards along with these kinds of entrance exams?
Okay, preparing for board along with this examination, the first thing is if you're someone from a different background, like if you're from science and you need to go for BLLB or something like that, then it's going to be a bit difficult for you, just because you're having some different subjects in your board examination and different subjects in your CUET examination. But if you're someone who is going for science and then you're going for BSc LLB, then it's going to be helpful for you, just because you're having science in your 12th and you're going to have some things which is similar like this in your BSc LLB examination. So integrated courses like this, that BLLB, BBLLB or BSc LLB, it requires preparation from your 12th grade only. If you're prepared enough for your board examination, you are 70% prepared for your CUET examination. It's just that you need to focus, as Hidakti says, it's always the tricky questions over there. So you always need to prepare for that questions only, just because they're going to confuse you with similar options and something. You feel like it's a clone of the answers as well. So just need to prepare for that.
Right. Absolutely. I totally agree to that. Okay. So syllabus. So just since we were discussing for law, syllabus, is there any, I would say any particular topic or any particular section that you would like emphasize that's more important?
No, not particular section. Is just that if you're going for law, then go for law. Torts is the basic thing that you need to prepare hard enough. And if you're preparing for sections or contracts as well, it's going to help you in your examination. That's it only. It's nothing like some different kind of law or your constitution that you need to get over it. Just because in your course, in your 5-year law program, you're going to read about it. You just need to prepare the basics that you are able to get a layman's language law. That's only you're eligible for it.
Right. Okay, Atanu has sent us a question. What is the selection process of computer science and engineering? So, Atanu, you're asking for like CUET, particularly if you're asking for CUET, if you can like clarify on that. Okay, Gaurav has a question. How to prepare for BSc CS for CUET? I didn't had CS in my 12. If you can like suggest some other course. So like any of you would like to suggest him some other course apart from that? Gaurav, I think you can like choose according to your specific requirement. I mean, which subject do you like to take? So that will actually help you decide like what if you want to take some other course and sit for CUT exam. So I just wanted to clarify another thing for the CUT exam. Do you have different syllabus for different subjects? Like if I'm sitting for LLB, I'll have a different exam paper, and if you are sitting for some other exam for CUET, you will have a different exam paper. Is it something like that?
Not that much, but slightly it will be differ from each
Okay.
other.
So
So
whichever
suppose
subject.
CUET or some private university, the one thing that differ well, that
Yeah.
CUET is a pattern that is being followed for all the university. But
Okay.
for private colleges or something, it's just that what they want you, to see in you, they will make your paper like that only.
Okay. So that's not a common exam paper that all of them will have to sit. It's like according to their colleges and subjects, right? Okay. So Babul wants to know for BSc biotechnology, which subject should we choose? PCB. Any idea on that?
Okay, if you're going for BSc biotechnology, it's up to you that in which subject you are interested and which you are going to have more idea of. As biotech is obviously from BSc, then you are going to get a clear idea about it only when you are in your college. So just before that, you can go for it on the basis of your interest and your choice. That what you want to go for in future. Then only will it help you.
And
Okay,
you can even navigate
yeah.
the site on the CUT and you'll see there are certain options and you can actually choose from those options if you are not clear on what option that you need to choose.
Yes, and I've already shared the website link. Like in just anytime you can check on that. Okay, Atanu, for CUET for computer science and engineering, it depends on the college that you are applying for. Also, on your subject process will depend. So after you have like given CUET, I think once you have cleared the exam, you can like probably go ahead with the selection process, right? So you can like just check on with that. Okay. A few law colleges under CUET comes from Gargi. Harshita, any idea on that?
Almost all the universities over there who are having law are accepting it. And obviously CUET is something for central universities. So all the private colleges or colleges coming under that particular university will accept your mark as well.
Yes. Shikha, I think Harshita just answered that like all the private universities are accepting CUET exams. And also if you just check on the website link, you'll get to know which all universities are, under CUET right now, because there are a lot of amendments happening, some time back.
I'd like
Yes.
to answer the Mumbai
Sure.
University question. I read it today itself that there are four types of universities that are coming under CUETs, either public universities, there are central universities, state universities, deemed to be universities, and private universities. So you need to see that whether the central universities are all of them are going to accept CUET, but state universities you need to check that whether they are accepting CUETs or not, because that is not compulsory for them yet. So they can either choose CUET as their entrance or they can choose their own examination. Like RU, Rajasthan University, which is a state university, is accepting their own entrance exam for the criteria that they are taking the entrance of. So they are not accepting CUET as of now. They have not made any declaration. So you'll need to sit for their particular examination. So you'll need to see whether the private university that you are going for is under central university or under state universities. If it is under state universities, whether that state university is accepting CUET or whether it's accepting some other entrance exam. So you need to particularly go to that university's portal and check for yourself that whether that university is accepting or not.
Right, absolutely. And okay, I'll just try and share another link for CUET PG diploma. I think a lot of you wanted to know. I'm just sharing another link. So Deepak, I think you had this question for CUET PG course. Just check this link that I've shared right now in the chat, and I think you'll find all the relevant information regarding PG diploma, like what all the process has started or not, and regarding how you need to fill up the form. As I mentioned, we already have a small video on YouTube channel on Shiksha, So just check that video, like how you can like proceed in filling up the form. So Harshita, since we were like discussing about exams and registrations, so how was your total experience of sitting for this exam, preparing and then qualifying for this? Just share a few things about that.
Just back 2 years from now, I was preparing for this exam and was not having enough idea like what I'm going to do with and what I'm going to choose in future. Look, in this question, simultaneously going to answer this, that what if you're not able to get in CUET, then what you can do? Okay, the first thing when I was preparing was not having enough idea and was just preparing like I should go for it. I go for CUT and I was just having the online syllabus or something like that and I'm preparing for it along with my boards. So first thing was there in my mind is if I'm not going to do it, then what I will do? I always have this in my mind that if I'm not going to do it, I will choose some college who is giving me the my desired benefits and over there. The first thing that came in mind just after the CUT examinations, when I saw that I was able to qualify for the universities for which I need to go very far from my home, I was not ready for that. So I got to know about this private colleges and so on. I started searching for that. In my order to getting for a law degree, I always wanted to go for some best thing in judiciary. And luckily, I opted for Asian Law College. They are providing this judiciary degree as well. So same like that, if you are someone who is having your interest in particular subjects, you can go for that college or that university who are going to offer you that your desire your things. Like if you're someone who is going to be more fluent in ECA, like extracurricular activities, so you need to select a university or college that is offering ECA equal value as the subjects. Like some universities are there who are just focusing on the subjects or the it's more based on the marks. You cannot opt for that if you're someone who's going for ECA. Some universities are here who are going to offer sports quota benefit to students who are having international or national certificate for sports. So obviously they need to go for that university or colleges. So while preparing, I always have this in my mind that I'm going to prepare for this thing as well, that I'm going to get a college or university who's offering judicial coaching services as well. So I opted for the Asian Law College in order to that, just because I was not able to get best on CUET. That's it.
Right. So I think these kind of experiences really help students to, those who are going to like sit for the first time. So they understand like what they go through. So just wanted to know, is there an attempt, that you can have maximum 2 attempt or 3 attempt or just once? You can just sit for once. Is there something like that?
No, I guess I'm not having clear idea, but you can sit for it. It's not that you need to sit in one attempt only.
Okay. So probably we can like just check on the website also,
Yes.
like for the clarity.
As I believe the students are asking for the subjects, like someone who's Uzma here is asking, you can definitely check Shiksha, as I've always seen this kind of answers over there, that the suggested book or books which are compulsory for CUET examination, you can visit Shiksha for this. I've seen this answer there, so you can easily get it there.
Right.
I can suggest for the economics, political science, and psychology thing. If you want to go for the books, of course, like Harshita suggested, you can go to Shiksha for the guidance of books. But if you want to know the practical knowledge, if you want some assistance on the general knowledge thing, as Harshita said, that it's very imperative to know the general knowledge questions, which is like students often neglect it or oversee the importance of general knowledge. I would suggest that if you are someone who is like who doesn't like GK subject, like I never liked GK, I despise the subject since my childhood. So if you are someone like me who do not like general knowledge, I would suggest you to start using Twitter, because Twitter is a place that would get you everything that is happening around the world in a very fun way. You'll actually get addicted to what is happening around the world. Like I personally started using Twitter, and I actually now know everything that is happening all around the world. I have every knowledge about political situation, financial situation, stock market situation, or even entertainment situation. Like, so Twitter is the best place to accumulate general knowledge without having to go through the burden of sitting in front of books. Like Twitter is the place.
Absolutely. Okay. MA French entrance exam. I think we do not have students who are like preparing for French entrance exam. So probably they cannot help on this, Kartika. So you can take help of Ask Shiksha, right? We have experts over there who will guide you in the right way and you'll have the proper answer to your question. Okay. All right. Anika wants to know about how should I prepare for BB exam. So Dakshin can like guide for management, please.
I would suggest, apart from the book knowledge, because I am never a person who dwells into books. I even gave my university exams without books. So I am a person who always focuses on the practical knowledge, the current situation of the industry that you are going forward in, and the online. You see, we are in a generation that makes the best use of internet. So I would suggest that you go for all the YouTube channels, the online material that is provided, the research material that is available on, whether it's on Twitter or it's follow channels that focus on the commerce industry. So I what I always do in my course, whenever I think that my exam is like 1 month from now, I start following pages or following accounts that are focused on the commercial aspect of the industry, and I start dwelling into that. It would, like, see, book knowledge is always restricted to the theoretical approach, and we are not really sure whether the current market situation or the current industrial situation is reflected into the bookish scenario or not. Like, for example, I'll give you, like, when we studied economics in 12th standard, we were often presented with the markets that, like, perfect market or monopoly market, which were never really close to the real market situation, right? They were just a model situations to compare the markets, the real markets with, right? So book knowledge is will beneficial up to some extent only. That is what I believe. But if you want to sit for an exam, which competition exams, which often focuses on the current situation, because they include GK as well, so you need to sit for the current market situation of the industry. So you need to focus on the internet. You need to go through all the channels that provide the knowledge, all the make the best use of the boon that we have. The bane and boon, as we say, that internet is the bane and boon of this generation. So make the best out of that.
I totally agree, and I think that works. Okay, we had few
See,
questions.
Shiksha is an outcome of internet, right? So you can
Yeah,
find everything on Shiksha. Like, that is what internet provides. Internet provides
right.
various opportunities to learn.
ओके, बीटेक में एडमिशन के लिए कैसे टाइप के क्वेश्चंस आएंगे और पैसे पेपर का पैटर्न होगा? ओके तान्या, फॉर दिस, सिंस बोथ ऑफ देम आर नॉट फ्रॉम बीटेक, यू कैन लाइक just check on Ask Shiksha. Probably there you can have a better answer to this. Also, I like to tell all of you, for CUET, we are coming up with another webinar next week probably. So just keep a check on our LinkedIn pages. We are again hosting another webinar for CUET, where we'll be having panelists who will be experts, faculties. So I would request all of you who are like coming here for CUET, who will be sitting for CUET, please join us on this webinar, where we'll be having expert faculties who will be guiding you in a very proper way, and will be sharing their kind of information that they teach, and help students to prepare. So just make sure to keep a check on our LinkedIn page. It's a request to all of you, because we'll be putting up the registration link, and who all are the faculties. Everything will be there up on our LinkedIn page. So please keep a check. Next week, probably on 30th of May, we will be coming up with this CUET webinar with faculties. So I think that webinar is a must attend for all of you who are like sitting for CUET exam, because you will have one-to-one sessions with them on this panel, and they'll be there to guide you. There are faculties from different institutes, so they'll be there. So just keep a check on our LinkedIn page, where we'll be putting up the registration link, so you can like join in for the webinar and have all your queries done, right? Gargi, I think we just answered that almost all DU colleges are now accepting CUET, because there's a recent amendment that was done, and now all the colleges under DU are accepting the CUET. Also tomorrow we are having another small webinar for one of the DU colleges, so you can join us there. So just keep a check on our LinkedIn and Instagram pages. We have already started sharing a lot of things, so you can just join us there, right? Okay, let's move to some more questions that we got during the registration process. I mean, we do get a lot of questions for that. So some of them have asked like, what are the options for management students, like even if they're not taking up CUET or after CUET, what are the management courses or options they can take up, Hitakshi?
See, management is a very, very vast subject, right? When you walk into the corporate sector, there are a lot of options available for you. In terms of courses, there is like BBA, which is the professional course. If we are in terms of courses, BBA is a professional course. Then comes BCom. BCom is also a pass course, and you can do honors in BComs. BCom honors comes into three options. First is BCom honors in business administration, which is a theoretical subject. It like comprises of all the theory about business administration, management, and leadership roles and motivation, and everything that encompasses the management and administration of aspect of business. So honors in business management. Then there's honors in accounting management, ABST. So in that, there is a complete practical approach regarding accountings, and if you are into statistics, and if you are into, I would say, accounting, statistics, banking, if you're into those practical approach, the numerical approach, the financial approach of BCom, so you can opt for ABST honors in BCom. Then the third honors is economics honors, which deals with the economical structure and financial management of the BCom honors. So that is economical administration and financial management, EAFM, which is my course, and that deals with the economical policies, the banking policies, the fiscal policies, the budget, and the banking policies. The economic honors deals in that. Then apart from BCom, there is BCA. If you want to take up the computer application course, then there is BCA. And then for post graduation, of course, there are two options: whether MBA, BBA. The masters of BBA is like MBA, and MCom is for BCom graduates. There is no particular criteria that you need to sit for a BBA to go into a big MBA, or you need to sit for BCom to go into MCom. But people prefer MBA over MCom because it's more easier to step into corporate world with MBA. But MCom gives you the specialization of the subjects that you have already chosen for in BCom, but MBA gives you a vast area. Like MBA would give you the area of HRM, which is not really included as such in BCom prospect, because we barely find any particular subject or any particular exam dedicated to HRM. So if you want to explore the other profiles of commercial area, if you want to explore any other profiles of the corporate sector, you can opt for the MBA.
Right. I think one of our panelists lost connection because of some technical glitch, so she couldn't join in back. But I have just launched a feedback poll, and I would request all of you, like, quickly fill up this feedback poll, because it gives us what kind of feedback you might want to give us for the sessions, and what all we can improve on. And if the session is useful and you got some information, some clarity on the particular topic, right? So meanwhile, you're just filling up this form, we'll just come to another question. Okay. Where can we find sample papers for commerce math student? Hitakshi, have any idea on that? Like any sample papers where they can find it?
You can easily Google them, or they're available on YouTube as well. You just need to type in sample papers, and you'll find number of links that are providing sample papers. There are different universities sample papers that will be available, whether it's NCRT. You'll find a lot of papers. You just need to Google it out, and you'll be able to. You just need to scroll back, and you need to click on some links and research a bit. It'll hardly take half an hour of you, and you'll find the sample papers available anywhere on the internet.
Yeah. So
even Shiksha also has, I guess, right?
Yes,
they provide sample papers on their website.
So just wanted to clarify another thing that Tanya has just shared here, that if they have shared a particular college name in the form, so they will get admission according to the marks, or just the name that they have filled in, or according to the cutoffs. Like, what is the criteria of getting admission after CUET?
Okay, just let me read the question. So, college. See, yeah, that is completely right. If you have see, there is no option to fill in the college name in the form itself. But if you have taken college in your mind that I need to go into this college, and I'm preparing according to the criterias of this college, and you're sitting for CUET, and you got a certain number of marks, and just say unfortunately you didn't qualify for that college, but you have the mark sheet, you have the CUET exam results in your hand, right? So you can easily apply to other colleges that are accepting the certain threshold of the marks that you have gotten, right? So there is no particular I would say there's no particular strictness in that you can only apply for one college that you have already taken in mind or that you have already filled in the form. There is no particular strictness in that. You can easily apply for other colleges that are accepting the marks for the same course that you want to go to, and you can easily fill in their forms as well using the same marks.
Yes, so I think Tanya, that would help you to understand like what exactly you need to do for these types of exams. So
Yeah, and
uh,
yeah, I guess you wanted to know that whether if you have filled the college name,
yeah.
whether your chances of getting selected would increase or not, or whether it would be completely dependent on the cutoff only. See, Tanya, that would be completely dependent on your cutoff. See, colleges don't see whether you have prioritized their college or not. They see whether you have qualified for the cutoff or not. They won't see that you have prioritized their college or if you have only filled in the form for their college only. That won't affect your chances of getting selected. It would be only contingent on the marks that you're getting and whether or not you're qualifying for the cutoff.
Right. And I think a lot of you had some more queries. So as I've mentioned that we'll be organizing another webinar on CUET with where we'll be having expert faculties who will be there to like help you with your queries. So you can like join us there on this free webinar, and please keep a check on our LinkedIn page. We'll be posting all the details and the registration link itself on that page where you can like join us there, right? And I hope you have filled up the form and rated us between 1 to 10, like how was the session and how likely would you recommend these webinars to your friends for different courses and subjects. And meanwhile you're just filling up this, we'll quickly move to last one or two questions that will take before we wrap up the session. So I'll just look up for certain questions that we have over here. Okay, so is the option of selecting university matter if you want another university on the rank of air can be applied? So is there an option of selecting a university? And I mean a lot of them have the same kind of queries, like do they get an option of selecting universities or colleges? And what if they don't get into that, what are the options after sitting for the exam they can take in? You can just
See,
clarify on that.
yeah, CUET is basically to eliminate those differences between university. Why CUET was introduced was to have a level field for all the colleges. So you did not need to worry about whether this university is accepting CUET or that university is accepting. All the central universities will be accepting CUET. You do not need to sit for CUET again and again for different universities. That's what CUET was introduced for. Just like JEE and NEET is a universal exam for engineering colleges and medical colleges, CUET is an exam for all the central universities. So you did not need to worry that whether if I do not get selected into this universities or these five universities that I have shortlisted, can I apply for you can definitely apply for other universities. And if there is earlier what used to happen was CUET was not compulsory, right? So all the central universities were not compulsorily accepting CUET. They were having different methods of entrance exam, whether they were accepting during from entrance exams or whether they were accepting on merit basis, or whether they had their own entrance exam, their own paper that their professors set, right? But now, since the government has made it compulsorily from this session onwards, most all of the central universities will be having CUET. Most of the state universities will also be having CUET, and if not, then also state universities will be introducing their own entrance exam. So you just need to check that whether the course that you want to pursue in and all the universities that you have shortlisted, say you have like 12 options of universities that provide the course that you want to go into, right? And you have selected the top five that I'll be preparing the exams for these top five universities. But what if you do not get into these top five universities? You can apply for the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 12th, and all the universities that provide the course. That is totally up to you. The CAUT does not bar you from applying from other universities. And just in case you could not qualify for CUET this year, say, right? So if there are certain universities that allow students to take a drop for a year, and they allow students who have appeared for the 12th exam in previous years, you can sit for the CUET exam again. There's no barring in the CUET exam.
Right. Okay. Deepika has a question. Is the CUET exam common for science, commerce, and art students?
See, CUET exam is the common, the paper pattern will be common, the general questions, the logical questions, the reasoning questions will be common, but the theoretical questions will change according to your courses that you're taking. That's why I said that when you go on the CUET portal, you'll find the syllabus option there. When you click on the syllabus, there you'll be provided with the 20 to 25 subject list. When you go to that particular subject list, you'll be provided with the particular syllabus for that particular subject. So the some common ground questions will be same. The paper pattern will be same for all the CUET exam, whether you are taking science or commerce or arts field, that doesn't matter. But the course question, the theoretical question, the questions pertaining to your courses will, of course, differ from course to course. Like biology questions will be different, physics questions will be different, chemistry questions will be different, and so on and so forth.
Right. Tanya says after your next seminar. Yes, Tanya, just be part of the next seminars because you've just started on with the CUET sessions. So probably for the next seminar, once you're part of there, we'll be having faculty. So you can like throw in your questions related to your BTech or any other query that you might have. And also, as I've mentioned, that Ask Shiksha is always there. Okay. So you can anytime drop your question there, and probably you will get an answer from an expert. Okay, so please make good use of this channel. If it is there to help you and guide you, so just make good use of it and throw in your questions over there. So probably the experts will be there to guide you. Okay, just quickly run through if there is any other question that we can take in for before we wrap up.
I think Uzma wanted to know the books for the psychology and political science. I actually do not have the subject myself, but my juniors had, and I just asked them for the suggestion, and one of them replied, for psychology you can have Alan Porter's book. Alan Porter, the author name, and you can refer to the books of him. And for political science, I would suggest you to go for the Andrew Haywood.
Right. Thank you for that answer, Hitaksha. I think that will help a lot of you. And just the last question, like, do you have any idea, like, how do the marks are being calculated for CET exams? Like, I mean, after they have like given the exam, how do the marks are calculated and how do they like score? They decide on the score, how the exam pattern is being done, like in the last moment.
See, I guess CUET is definitely the same as other competition exam that we set for, because the MCQ pattern is same. So there is a particular set of ratio given to the theoretical questions. See, like for example, 20% to the reasoning questions or 30% to the GE questions, and the rest of the distribution towards the theoretical exams, right? Theoretical questions, and that too, there are certain criteria for that. For example, the practical questions might hold some extra marks, or the theoretical approach of the questions. For example, in maths, there are certain questions that are related to the theory or the theorems of the maths, or there are some questions that are practical, right? So I guess that depends on the subject to subject basis, whether the subject is asking for the theoretical approach, or whether it's asking for the practical approach, and accordingly their marks are being calculated.
Right, absolutely. So I think we had discussed a lot of questions, and as I've said, we did try to take the more we can, but this session was all about sharing what all options is there, and what if you're not able to sit for CUT, if you're not taking up CUT, so what other options you can look for, and if you have like what all experiences you can have from someone like who have already given the exam, right? Okay, so you're preparing for JEE. So for CUET, if you want to prepare any other extra subject, Hitaksha, have any idea on that?
See, if you are preparing for GA, the physics, chemistry, maths are compulsorily included in GA, right? And if you want to sit for CUT for physics, chemistry, or maths, I don't think that you need to do extra preparation for that, because see, JEE is also an exam that is conducted after 12th, and CUET is also an exam that is conducted after 12th. So if you're already preparing for JEE that includes the subjects like physics, chemistry, and maths, and you want to sit for CUT in those same subjects, then I don't think that you need to prepare separately for CUT. You can go ahead with the preparation that you have for JEE and sit for CUT as well, just so that you have a backup in case that you do not qualify.
Right. And before we wrap up, some important notifications that I was mentioning in the beginning of the session. Firstly, this week we have a very important session for JEE. So join us on Friday, that is 20th of May. We'll be having a faculty who will be there to guide you for like the last minute preparation. Also, I think a lot of you might be sitting for JEE and JEE Advanced this year, right? So we'll be coming up with a lot of sessions on JEE as well. One is on this Friday, 20th of May. The registration link will be updated. I'm also sharing it for all of you. But we'll be having this entire detail, like who is the faculty and what all will be there. I'm just sharing the registration link here, which is free to join. This is for Friday. We'll be discussing on preparation of JEE Main and Advanced. Also, we are coming up with another webinar for last minute preparations of JEE, where we'll have two more faculties, two more experts that we are organizing next week. That is 27th of May. So just keep a check on our LinkedIn page. We are coming up with a lot of webinars. Yes, Tanya, that is at 5 p.m. I have already shared the registration link. So if you're looking for JEE Main and Advanced, the preparation thing, please join us on 20th of May, 5 p.m. Also, next week, we have another webinar for JEE where we'll have two more different faculties who will be there to guide you for the last, preparation thing. Also for CUET, we are coming up with another webinar that will be probably next week. Okay. And again, for law, we are again coming up with another webinar for IELTS exam preparation for the next week. That is on Wednesday. So the all details, will be there. And also very differently, we are doing a seminar on NDA exams as well for the defense. So you can join us for that on Monday. That is the coming week, 23rd of May, right? So we have a lot of webinars planned up. So I would request all of you students, please keep a check on Shiksha's LinkedIn page. We are regularly posting the details and the links over there. So please make good use of these 1 hour sessions, which are free to join. And there are different faculties from all around, So they're joining us from different parts of the city as well as a country, and they're here to guide you. So please make, good use of these sessions and seminars. And of course, Ask Shiksha, I've already mentioned it's there. But if some of you have missed up this entire video, today's video, this entire video will be there up on our YouTube channel. It's already live streaming, but in few hours, you'll be able to see it on our YouTube channel. It'll be there. You can rewind it. You can put it back and go back and listen if you have missed any part, right? So I hope the session was useful to all of you. We did try our best, but we'll be coming up with more sessions. So just try and be part of that, and just stay hooked on to our LinkedIn pages, our social media handles, right? Hitakshi, thank you so very much for being part of this webinar. And, despite of being from a different stream, you did try and answer a lot of queries. You tried and guide them. You tried to help them out with a lot of answers that you could with all your knowledge and information. So that was a great effort. And I think that has helped a lot of them. I could see a lot of them could get answers, to their queries. So that was a great effort on your side, and, taking out 60 minutes of your valuable time for being part on Shiksha's webinar. So thank you so much. And we hope to have more webinars with you. And what would be your last piece of advice to all of them before we move out?
Thank you, Bhagashri. And to be what would be my last piece of advice would be that is something that helped me a lot was see, the market shift. Today's market shift is being towards competency-based exams, competency-based jobs, right? So I think that focus on your competencies, focus on your skills, focus on your interpersonal abilities, interpersonal skills, because in the current market shift, that is going to be helpful to you the most, apart from the exams, apart from the scores that you'll be getting from your graduation, from your post-graduation, the marks, the degrees. Yeah. Apart from that, your interpersonal skills matter most. I would suggest that you choose a college that gives you the opportunity to be present in the cultural aspect, I would say the cultural activities, and you get to explore the cultural activities, the interpersonal abilities, the different colleges competition, the national level competition, go to IITs competition, IIM competition, and build your portfolio in such a manner that your interpersonal skills outshow your marks, I would say. So that is my last piece of advice.
Absolutely. That was a valuable piece of advice. And I think that goes out to all of you. And I've shared the LinkedIn page for Shiksha and our YouTube channel. So please just save these pages and keep a check regularly for all notifications for all webinars. I know a lot of you have emailed me separately that we want to get more information. So you have to keep a check on LinkedIn. We post all the information over there, right? So thank you so much for being part of this webinar, and hope to see you soon in another webinar. Thank you, Takshi.
Thank you, Bhagyashree, for hosting such a wonderful seminar.